evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez. We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's game plan, we'll break down the latest from the PBA Commissioner's Cup semis after the Game 2 matchup of the Manila Classico.
We'll also talk about the keys to winning for Ateneo and UP as they gear up for the biggest battle in UAAP Season 85. And we'll check out the biggest football stories of the year in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game.
Top 4 teams remain in the PBA Commissioner's Cup, and with us tonight to break down the latest updates from the ongoing semis game day is PBA Rush analyst Coach Topex Robinson. Coach, your debut here in the show. Welcome to the game.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Good to see you again.
I'm excited to be here.
All right, let's talk about that Magnolia Ginebra game. I mean, the fans are treated to a Manila Classico dito sa semis ng PBA, Coach. I mean, wild ending to that game. Paulie with the game winner. Paano tayo napunta doon, and what did Paulie do to secure the win for Magnolia?
Wow, we are looking at that few second game, but if you're gonna look at the whole game itself, that's where I'm really looking at, because before that happened, obviously Magnolia was still there. If you're gonna look at the game one,
right,
even if their import wasn't there for the half of the game, Magnolia was still there. They lost by only 1 possession. So they still stuck to what worked for them defensively. They were really on top of the situation. Right. I guess I would say that that last play wasn't really meant for Paulie, or he might be an option there, obviously. But him being the inbounder, he might be a decoy with 5 seconds left. But that thing happened.
Instinct happened.
Yeah, and then just like on his interview, he wasn't really looking at the time anymore. He was just making sure he's gonna focus on that last shot, which really went in.
We're looking at the video right now. For those who missed that buzzer beater by Paulie, broken play, bungled possession basically, almost already picking it up, and just at the horn, Paulie, and then they ran all the way to the other side, 96-95. This could have been a 2-0 lead for Barangay Ginebra. Does it concern you, Coach, that Justin was held to a very low-scoring game in his first game? You have
to give credit to the defense that Magnolia was putting in. They're kind of changing the face, giving Justin different looks defensively. So it kind of messed up with the way they were setting the plays. But obviously, Ginebra is always going to be a Justin Brownlee team. You know, wherever the offense they do, it's always going to end up with his hands. So the good thing with JB is he's also a willing passer. That's why Coach Tim wants the ball in his hands most of the time. But again, they also miss a few free throws down the line. Those 2 missed free throws by Malonzo and 1 by JB was really crucial, because again, you only lost by 1 point. So you're gonna look at
7 free throws. So parang 7 free throws yata.
And especially in the playoffs, parang all the possessions are gonna be magnified.
Golden.
In the playoffs, right? That's right. But so it's 1-1 in this matchup right now. For Game 3, we're taking a look at who's gonna get the 2-1 lead. What's the key to winning for both teams? Let's start off with Magnolia.
I guess for Magnolia, it's still gonna be the same. The crucial part there is they have Baroka and Halalon. I think those are the key, because it's taking away if you'll notice, they're denying LA the ball.
Right.
What LA does is pretty much doing it on the half-court end, but from the backcourt, he cannot set up the play. One good thing that Halalon did during the end of the third and at the start of the fourth in this Game 2, he was the focal point.
Right.
When Paulie was out, Calvin was still struggling, Halalon did his job. Baroka scored 6 of his 8 points in the last 2 minutes of the ball game, together with that crucial 3 down the stretch. So that's going to be crucial for Magnolia. For Ginebra, they pretty much are falling in love with the outside shots. Obviously, it's helping them also, but Ginebra was still able to attack the basket. They were dominating the rebounding. That's one crucial part of what they do. I guess for Ginebra, they still want to go big. having Justin Brownlee at the 3 with Japet and then Stan Hardinger at the 4 and 5 will really mean a lot for Ginebra.
It's little separation between these two teams, obviously, in the two games that have been played. Let's talk about the other series. Excuse me, Coach Topex. Right now, I'm looking at the score. It's 56-45 Bay Area in the lead. That game one. Golden opportunity, 16-point lead, the deficit overhauled. What happened there, and what are you looking at for game number 2?
For the San Miguel and Bay Area series, San Miguel went off to a good start during game 1. They were connecting from the outside. They were hitting their threes. Terence Romeo had 19 points in the first half. CJ was making their threes, everybody. But what you didn't notice was Bay Area was just at that attacking point.
Right.
They were just close.
there.
Yeah, they were just there. San Miguel was making threes, but they were just connecting. The numbers show that San Miguel, Bay Area dominated the paint, which is not really because before with Powell, they're an outside team, but with Nicholson, they become an inside team. They had 58 points out of their, I think they had 104, so that's huge. Crucial part for me, Boom, is when Junmar got into early foul trouble.
Right.
Because that was the time that majority of the inside points of Bay Area came in. That's defensively. But offensively, they also lost because when Junmar wasn't there, they became a guard-oriented team. But San Miguel is strong when they're inside out.
Right.
So that was really crucial.
Coach, you talked about the teams and what they do well. Let's talk about the players. For SMB, Junmar Fajardo, of course, will be a factor for San Miguel if they want to beat this Bay Area team. What is Junmar doing right now for San Miguel that will be special for San Miguel to get this win?
Junmar, as much as Bay Area has their 7-footer, it's still gonna be an inside-out. He will still gonna attract the defense. And what's good about Junmar for all these years is also a willing passer. He's not gonna force his shots. He's gonna really go deep, which is gonna be a high percentage shots for San Miguel.
Right.
And he's also a willing passer. The CJ was a beneficiary. Terence Romeo is a beneficiary of that. Again, there's a lot of things when Junmar was inside the court. So I would say it's going to be Junmar is still going to be the key for SND.
Well, game 1 was a comeback by Bay Area. San Miguel has to do that right now. They're down 61-50 at the 8:13 mark of the third quarter. So we'll see what happens for game number 2. Coach Topex, good to see you again. It's been too long.
It's a
and
pleasure.
welcome to the game. Drop by again
Yeah.
sometime soon.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Diego.
And don't forget, guys, tune in to the 2022 PBA Commissioner's Cup live on One Sports, TV5, PBA Rush, Signal TV Channel 260 HD, Channel 90 HD, and free on Signal Play.
And after the break, we'll find out if it will be a repeat or a redemption time for UP and Ateneo in the UAAP Season 85 Men's Basketball Finals. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. It's now or never for the Katipunan powerhouses in UAP men's basketball as we await the biggest game of the season on Monday. My co-host and UAP analyst, Diego Dario, will break down the keys to winning for both teams. But before that, Diego, your quick thoughts on game number 2.
Well, basically, what UP did to Ateneo in Game 1, Ateneo just fought back in Game 2. They were the aggressors, both on defense and on offense, and Ateneo just played their game. Team basketball, UP, they a bit struggled a little bit, especially in that second half. Ateneo just closed it out very well.
All right, you have prepared for us some keys to winning. I believe there are 3, so let's go through them. Take me through the first key.
Well, the first one basically is controlling the pace of the game. So let's take a look at these videos that we're about to show you guys. Basically, for both teams, whoever controls the pace will have a big chance of winning the ball game. For Ateneo, they're more of a half-court offensive team. They execute very well on the half-court sets. For UP, their defense fuels their offense. When they make stops just like this, they have the opportunity to attack even without the Ateneo defense set. So that's the strength of UP, fast break and making the most out of those opportunities. Take a look at this play here by Ateneo. No one even dribbling the basketball, just executing their plays, resulting into an easy dunk by Kai Balungay. That's the Ateneo way. And meanwhile for UP, this is what they need to do. It starts in the stops in defense. This is what they didn't do a lot in Game 2. That's why they didn't have a lot of opportunities to run. And in Game 3, this is what they have to do more often.
And the numbers reflected it. It's like a mirror image only on the other side now for game number 2. Okay, let's take us to the second key, which is?
Well, for the second key is controlling the paint. That has been the trend. The paint.
Okay,
that has been the trend here in this matchup, Ateneo and UP. Whoever gets more inside points wins the ball game. Here, of course, when you're talking about the inside for both teams, it's going to be Ange Kwame and Malik Diouf. For UP, it will still start with their guards. That's where all their offense starts. For Thea, creating an opportunity here for Malik Diouf. But for Ateneo, it's different. Ange Kwame creates his own opportunities. After a bucket, after a missed shot, he's very aggressive, especially in Game 2 in offensive rebounds.
This one was super painful because they played great defense for 23 seconds and then he got the rebound. And then Malik Diouf, as you mentioned, obviously in foul trouble earlier, so he wasn't able to do that earlier on. He tried to come back in that second half as you see some of these plays. Ito talagang sheer will.
Yep.
Diba? Para kay Ange Kwame getting it. All right, that was the second key. Control the pace, control the paint. Third key is what?
For the third, basically in Game 3, and I'm sure this is what the fans are trying to watch also, is the Stars. They should take over here in Game 3 and the Stars will shine. Let's take a look at the videos here. Take a look at Carl Tamayo with a spin here. 2 defenders on him, no problem. And I think Carl Tamayo will have to step up for UP because Zave Lucero had an injury in Game 2. And for Ateneo, Dave Ildefonso hasn't had that game yet here in the finals. Because in the elimination round, Dave has been scoring 20 points against UP. So for UP, it's going to be Carl. He's been the guy for UP. Now for Ateneo, Dave Ildefonso. No matter where he can get his points, it will help Ateneo, whether in fast break or in half-court situations.
It's strange, no? Dave, as you mentioned, 2 20-point games in the first and second round. This looks like the Dave of Season 84 finals, right? Where he had a hard time. In the meantime, Carl Tamayo, and I said this last night here on the show, he looked better in terms of his spring on that ankle. He became a little more aggressive in that fourth quarter. He was making shots, driving, getting fouls. But it was a little too late. So we would love to see these 2 superstars of the 2 teams. Who's going to be an intangible here? Sometimes games like these, Diego, merong mga hero na biglang hindi natin naasahan. Who can be your possible candidate?
I think we take a look at 2 players here. Maybe for Ateneo, let's take a look at Gab Gomez. Because when you take a look at Gab Gomez, he might not get all the points, might get all the numbers, but he's going to be crucial, especially with the bench of this Ateneo team, which has been the problem for them the whole season. But if Gab Gomez does a great job of, setting his team up in that second unit, it will be crucial here in this Game 3. But for UP, guys like Harold Dolarcon, those coming off the bench, Jerry Abadiano, they will be crucial here for UP because it starts with them. Their defense starts with them. They put pressure on the guards of Ateneo, and then when they make stops, they can get easy layups on the other side. So it's going to be crucial for both these teams.
These two teams have split this
Yep.
season 2-2. So talagang true decider
Grabe yung
yung
matchup na
sa
to.
Monday. Who do you think has an edge in terms of momentum, pressure, all of these things? Just your thought on that.
Well, right now with Zave out, that's not gonna help UP. But with
that's
Ateneo, getting their momentum, they look like they're peaking at the right time in season 85. I think Ateneo, they put the pressure on UP this time, and in Game 3, it's winner take all, basically.
That's what we want.
Yep.
That's what we're going to enjoy. 8 out of the last 9 games, Ateneo's won. UP in the meantime has been there in a Game 3, so we'll see what happens. And speaking of Game 3, it is happening on Monday, December 19th, 6 p.m. So catch the UAAP live on the UAAP Varsity channel, One Sports, Signal Play, and of course, the Smart live stream. And after the break, we'll find out what to look out for in the upcoming finals of the FIFA World Cup between Argentina and France. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. The FIFA World Cup is near the finish line as they are set to crown the champions on Sunday in a match between Argentina and France. And joining us to talk about that matchup and other stories is football analyst and former national team member James Younghusband. James, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Hi, James.
Hi, Boom. Hi, Diego. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you very much for being with us. Let's concentrate first on the individual stories before we talk about team here, James. Obviously, the biggest probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest story coming into the final will be the mic drop moment maybe for Messi and his chase for, football immortality. Is that the biggest story, and what are his, what do you think will be his thinking going into the final?
Oh, well. a difficult one for me to answer. I'll be honest, I'm edging towards more Ronaldo being the greatest. Of course, Messi fans will stand up against me when I say
Fair
that.
enough.
But nah, it's Lionel Messi. Like what he has produced over his career is absolutely amazing. I'll be honest. I say with him, he's produced some magical moments, and the way him and Argentina have recovered from that opening game against Saudi Arabia, it's really inspiring, and it makes it really sweet the way that they've got to this final. And yeah, it would be really nice for him to win the World Cup and like end his international, being like maybe his last tournament for Argentina,
right.
Well, major tournament for sure, and it would be a really nice story and could be made into a movie one day. So there's a lot of people hoping it happens. Well, we'll wait and see.
Not you though.
Well, it would be. It's just, yeah. I grew up a Manchester United fan and watched Ronaldo when he was there. And so I edge a bit more towards Cristiano.
I'm just teasing you. All right.
Well, James, when you talk about Argentina, of course, you talk about Messi. But when you talk about France, we got to talk about this kid, Mbappe. He has been phenomenal this World Cup. Talk about him and his matchup with Messi.
He's been like, it's like every time he gets it, it's like he's like the fastest man in the fastest person in the planet. Really, it's just amazing to see when he gets it and how fast he is. And when he gets it, he's such an outlet for France when they recover the ball. He gets it, and it's, you always think that something could happen here, and you can even just watching on the TV sense the crowd, the way that the atmosphere increases when he gets the ball. Like him and Messi, they're of course all eyes are on them going into the final, the most exciting players, and with Mbappe, with the likes of Ronaldo and Messi coming to the end of their career, and then Mbappe is like the new face of football globally. So it really is. It's like a passing of the torch, really, of one great to the future great. So it's super exciting coming into this game, really.
I'm barely 24 years old, right? And, okay, we'll get to the teams real quick. I just want to ask one last individual question: is his story being overshadowed though? Because when you talk about, like, let's say goals in the World Cup, he's almost with Messi already in terms of the number, with what, 12 less matches and. They're right, and with his age and his gaudy numbers, is he a possible GOAT also?
He could be. Boom. It's like that's what makes it so interesting and fascinating. We don't know what the future holds. It's just we can just judge with whatever information we have in front of us. And I think though, for the likes of Messi and like Ronaldo, they had a bit more towards their game as they developed. And at the moment, the main thing that the biggest attribute towards Mbappe is his speed, really. And I think we all know as you get older, that there's a sort of decline. But when it comes to an outfield player in football terms, we usually say 28 is your peak.
Right.
And yeah, it's 24, so he has 4 years till he reaches his peak. But we'll see. It's what makes it exciting to see what the likes of Mbappe can produce in the future at such a young age. And it's really great and exciting to come up.
Yeah, plus he is the defending champion, basically. So that's another point.
And James even mentioned back when in the last episode he was here that Mbappe is basically like LeBron James when you take a look at the numbers. Him going up that GOAT status. But let's talk about the teams here.
All right.
We talked about the individual players, the stars. Let's talk about the teams. What should France do here? Going up against Argentina.
Yeah, let's give a keys to winning, just like what Diego did.
Well, I think it's first for me, it establishes their different playing styles. Like, I think Argentina, they got so many talented players, and like I think with the help of Martinez stepping in the back line makes them stronger. But I think like Argentina, I think they've been playing a bit more intelligent when it comes to their games, their run of games. They're more of a team that sits back and waits for the other team to attack them. And as soon as they retrieve possession, it's that transition into attack. And like we talked earlier, France have the likes of Mbappe, Dembele. And I'll be honest, the one who's actually surprised me is Antoine Griezmann. He's barely played this year for Atletico Madrid. And he's come into this tournament and been one of their best players and possibly France's best player. And when you have the likes of those players getting the ball and being a threat, and then you have Oliver Giroud up front. It's really scary what France can produce on the counter. So I think that could be the key going into Sunday's game, with Argentina more of a dominant force in possession and attack when they have the ball. But then once France get that ball when they're sitting back, it's that counter attack and that transition going forward that could be the key in the game.
All right, I got to ask you one last question, James, and you know we got to get to this point. Who is winning and why?
Tough one. I was actually thinking this before we went on air. I knew you'd ask this one. It's very difficult to call it. I've played in a few finals myself, and it's like you feel on paper it's going to be this, us or the other team, and I mean it really depends on the day. You could have a big luck plays a big part in it. It's like you never know what's going to happen. Like a team could dominate, hit the post, hit the woodwork, or a player could be sent off, making the difference. But I think I'm going to go for France. I think defensively they're stronger.
Too straight, huh? Too straight for them. Which hasn't happened, by the way, in 60 years. The 2 straight wins in the World Cup. Wow.
Exactly.
Hey, nice call. We'll see. We'll check up on you again about that when after the final.
Thanks, Diego.
James, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, James.
Cheers, guys. Great to see you.
And thank you guys for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
And I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this has been The Game.